Hello everyone, welcome to From the Heart. I'm Joshua.
And I'm Mary. We're excited to bring to you all that's new and good when it comes to the arts in Central Florida. Today we're talking with Will Benton, founder of Faith Arts Village Orlando.
We're learning about Will's vision of the future for both FAVO and his own personal artistic endeavors. Welcome, Will.
Thank you so much.
Will, I have a question to you from a friend of mine, Jill.
Yes.
She said, when I go to FAVO, sometimes I'm not sure what to say to the artists when I walk in the room. Sometimes they're there alone and I don't want to bother them. Am I allowed to ask about it? When someone comes to your studio or what you've noticed with other artists, what's a good way for someone to go in and make themselves feel comfortable?
That's an awesome question. I think when you are brave enough to enter a studio not knowing the artist or the temperament of an artist, maybe just keep it very vague, saying what led you to choose this color combination, or how did you create that texture, or where did you come up with this vision? So just generic questions, hopefully not to offend the artist, because some of them are a little off the charts. But I think keeping it very generic, just striking up a conversation. What makes you create something like this? Just very generic questions, and that'll open up a dialogue, hopefully.
I know most artists like to talk about their work, yeah?
Some do, some don't. Some are very shy, and some of them are very ambitious in their conversations. So you just have to make that call when you walk in that room and be brave. Just go in, walk in that door.
Yeah, so that's great advice for the guests that are coming in and for our listeners that might go stop by. But how are you creating that culture for the artist on the opposite side? Do you do any kind of coaching for them? I mean, how do you create this safe culture for them to showcase their work?
Well, whenever an artist comes to me and they want to lease a studio or be involved in one of our shows, I like for them to send me a lot of their work so I can see what kind of stuff they create. And many times I will ask them questions long before, saying, why do you want to be part of us? Do you understand our vision, as we want to make this a good, safe environment for the community? If you're an artist that does some nudity, then we want to make sure that that is child safe, because we want our village to be open to everyone. And if a parent walks into a studio with a 5-year-old, then we need to have some boundaries on that. So we just kind of create that in advance and have open dialogue with the artist about what's acceptable and what's not.
And when someone is curious about a piece of work and they don't want to offend an artist, but they do have a question about it, is there a way you can help them phrase that question? Jason's never offended by anything, frankly. He gets a kick out of people's reactions to things, but everyone is different. But sometimes people would rather say nothing, but maybe even just sharing with them how they feel?
Absolutely. Just ask the question or share that to the artist, or the artist share something with the client. You don't know until you open that dialogue what you're going to run into. But if you don't open that dialogue, then you don't have that opportunity. So just always ask the question.
Yeah, I think probably part of it too is just is price. And thinking about how do artists put a price on their art, and how does the buyer or the person that's just checking out their art, if they even want to ask, is it acceptable to take less for your artwork?
Right.
Would you? I love this piece, but I can't afford that. Would you take less? Is that offensive to an artist? And then how do artists put a value on their work?
Those are all very crazy questions, because we go through that all the time.
I'm curious about it myself.
Yeah, I try to encourage the artist to put a price on the wall for every piece. That way, if you walk into a store and something, just a retail store, and something doesn't have a price on it, you think, can I afford this? Can I not afford this? How am I supposed to know? And then do I take it to the counter? Some very more aggressive personalities would just, bombard it over. It doesn't have a price on it, so I want it for $5.99.
Right.
So I try to encourage the artist to put prices on everything. Most artists are borderline starving artists, so they will, most of the time, reduce their cost to make a sale, me included. So, I want people to have what they want. So never be afraid to ask.
Never be afraid. Jason will can sometimes tell if someone, that's the issue, but often people will say, wow, I wish I could afford it. And Jason will often say, well, I can do better. Or they'll say to him, can you do any better? And I
Right.
always think that's a nice way of putting it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes he can't. Maybe it's a piece that's been winning awards and he really wants it to stick around because maybe he'll win a few more awards on it. But I've also seen Jason. I remember a time a lady said, I can't. Well, what do you have? $40. He said, well, I'll take 35. It was like a couple $100 piece, but Jason, I've had it for, it made her so happy, it made her cry.
Yeah.
I mean, artists are emotional people.
Absolutely.
And also some believe there's a place where every piece should be. I don't know if you believe that, but Jason does. He goes, that was meant to be at her home.
Right.
And that's what I'm proud that I married that man.
But then you do have artists that will not budge.
Yeah.
They will not budge off
Well,
the
so
prices.
how do artists put that value on their artwork? I mean, is it just is
Everyone's
there a
different.
metric? Is it what you feel it's worth? I mean,
Everybody's different. Everybody's different. I came up with a system because I talked to some friends, some personal friends that aren't artists, and I came up with just to put a price on the wall, I came up with a price per square foot. And if it's a piece that I just created, it's a certain price. If it's a commission piece that I'm doing for a client, it's a different price per square foot. I've heard people doing by the square inch.
Jason
so
does it by his year's experience.
There you go.
that's interesting. So it's really per artist of how they come up with the value.
Right. And sometimes you look at how much detail and how much work goes into a piece.
Yeah.
Time.
Time, right.
Time is very
And for
consuming.
some expensive materials.
Exactly.
What's the future look like?
For FAVO?
Yeah.
For FAVO, we are talking about some programming that's going to be more on a weekly basis every week. So we're excited about that. It's a new adventure for us. And plus, we do hope that, or I personally hope that FAVO can go to that next level. I want to open those next 14 rooms. So coming up with that next $100,000 or whatever is important to me to keep things moving in a direction.
If our listeners want to help with that, if they want to donate, if they want to know more information, if they want to just come out and see everything, how can they know about it?
They can go to our website, faithartsvillage.com, and get all the information they need. My private phone number is on there, and they can contact me anytime, and all the events are listed on there.
One more time, faithartsvillage.com.
Correct.
And you're also on Facebook?
We're on Facebook.
I'll start a new one.
Facebook.
Facebook and
Facebook.
Yes, Mary.
So yeah, we've got two different pages on Facebook, Faith Arts Village Orlando and Faith Arts Village of Orlando, I think is the other one.
Okay.
Doing a great work.
Thank you so much for being here, Will.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining Joshua and I. Sure wish our talk with Will could have gone on longer.
We hope you'll stop by FAVO in support of our local artists. Hopefully you'll even bring some art home with you. When you do, stop by Will's studio and tell him that Mary and Joshua say hello.
From the heart.